how you started playing basketball.
I started playing basketball late, actually. The first schools I went to didn't have athletic programs, so it wasn't until maybe high school that I started playing basketball. And because I just went to a high school that had basketball program, so that's how I started. All my friends were playing basketball, so I tried out, joined the team, and then we just started from there.
How's your college in McGill?
McGill was a great experience for me. To be honest, they were the only school that recruited me out of high school. McGill is known as like the Harvard of Canada. It's the joke, right? So it's one of the top, or if not the top university in Canada. So the reason I was able to get in is I had the grades in high school. So they took a chance on me, and you know, I ended up leaving a multi-year all conference player, defensive player of the year there, and you know, and then I got recruited to go for Gilas 1 after that. So my time at McGill was great. Still great friends with a lot of the players from that time that I was there, and great experience.
Who recruited you to play here in the Philippines?
In my senior year at McGill, I was recruited by Nardi Madraso, I think, to go to Vegas and to work out with the Gilas 1 team. So the guys that were invited were like Japeth, Marcio, Chris Lutz, myself, Gian something, and maybe a few other guys. So we all went to Vegas. We worked out with Gilas and Coach Rico, and then I ended up playing that summer for the national team. So I played in Japan with them. We were in Vegas. And we did some little tournaments and whatnot. So and then I had to go back for my last semester of school. And then when I was done, I entered the PBA draft in 2010.
How's playing in the Powerade?
Powerade was a fun team, of course. We're still good friends, all the players there, and it was probably one of the closest knit teams that I've been on. So it was a fun experience, a great way to end in the league, and learned a lot from the guys over there. And our team manager, Jimmy Milan, is a great guy, and the coaching staff, we got along really well with as well. So overall, it was a great experience playing Powerade.
How's playing in the Talk and Text?
Talk and Text was another great experience. It was really a short stint, though, on Talk and Text. I think I was only there for one conference. Unfortunately, I think we had 9 Phil-Ams, and there was Phil-Am, back then we were only allowed 5, so four players were sitting out every game. So they just had to move some players over to Morocco because they were paying us to sit out games. Not me in particular, but I ended up being one of the guys that was traded just because of the Phil-Am role. But the experience was great. In that short amount of time, you know, you could see the leadership from Jimmy, and I picked Renadell's brain, RDO. I studied him. I studied his post moves. I studied how he approached the game. Danny Siegel's there as well. Harvey Carey, you know, he's getting his jersey retired this week. Kelly, I just had some Ryan, like endless amount of vets I think it was in my second or third year. So there's so much to learn from, and then it was just great to learn from them. And even later on in my career, when I got into more of a leadership role, I would always hit up Jimmy. We'd go out for coffee or you know, a quick bite, and you know, discuss some of the things he did. You know, he kind of mentored me a little bit when I stepped into that more of a veteran role or a leader role later on in my career.
How's playing in Air 21?
Yeah, so I was at Talk and Text, and I went to Air 21 again for I think it was one conference, right? Because there was the Phil Lamb trade, and Air 21 was the conduit to Meralco. So I think back then you weren't allowed to trade, right? You had to actually play on the team for at least one conference. So on my way to Meralco, I was at Air 21 for one conference, and Coach France was the first coach to kind of put me in that you're a go-to guy, a main guy role, and I think coming in that conference, I think I led the PBA that conference in scoring, and then we upset San Miguel or Patron at the time with the twice to beat advantage they had it, so we upset them with that, made it to the semis, and then took the Grand Slam San Miguel Coffee team to the final game. I think game 5 of best of 5 in that series. So I mean, it was a great experience, and just grateful for Coach France for giving me the opportunity and to instill the confidence in me that I could be, a kind of a go-to or a main guy. Yeah, it was a great experience for everyone.
How's teammate Wesley Weatherspoon in Air 21?
Weatherspoon. Funny guy. He was a really funny guy. So we got along really well. Goofy guy. So we would hang out a lot. Assy as well. Assy was there on Air 21. So we'd go out for dinners, and we'd have some barbecues at my house and whatnot. So great teammate, could shoot the ball. I think that was what was cool was the two of us could interchange between the small forward and the power forward. So he would be like, okay, like I have a smaller guy guarding me, I want to go in the post so that I can move the other way, and then or vice versa. And so we could always play off of each other, or figure out who wanted to play what position based on the matchup and whatnot. So he was a very versatile guy that could score inside and out. So great player, great teammate, and yeah, I'm glad that our careers crossed paths and whatnot.
How's playing 4 years in Northport?
It was a great. Was it four or was it more? Oh, it might have been Global first. Global then Northport. It was a while. It was great. I thought I was actually going to retire there and whatnot. I got along with coaching staff and management, and same thing. They gave me a lot of opportunity and whatnot, and it showed. I was able to do well, and I played a lot of great players on that team, like Stanley Pringle, Terrence, Greg, Mo, Bullet, Robert Bullock. I could go on, but so I had a lot of good teammates and whatnot, and it was a fun time there for sure. Coach Pito and Boss Bonnie and everyone there. Coach France was the first one there. He brought me back right after our Air 21 stint together. So yeah, it was nice.
How's the feeling to recognize award in PBA Mythical and Defensive of the Year in 2019?
The Mythical team was nice because the 2 years before that, I think the Fidel messaged me. I was .001 statistical point for being an MVP candidate, and I didn't even make second team so I was basically, if I had one more rebound or one more point in the whole season, I would have been an MVP candidate. I think the 2 years before that. So I mean, in my mind, I should have been on one of those Mythical teams. But it didn't happen. Whatever the reason. So it was nice just to get that recognition then, and the Defensive Player of the Year award was a great one, because that's kind of how I think I tried to create a role put myself with my career, right, is like we were talking about on Powerade earlier. I wasn't the most skilled guy. I wasn't the most athletic or whatever, but I just always thought if I could play defense, rebound, and do a role, I could find minutes on the floor and work my way up, which is kind of what I did, and then I added different things throughout my career.
Why you choose jersey 10?
You know how you rate stuff, like, well, how hard did you work out today? Tell me on a scale of 1 to 10, or, there's always a grading system on 10. So, it was always my goal each day. It was, to try and put like a 10 out of 10 effort or whatnot. So that was kind of like the thing behind the numbers, to always like remind myself to give, make sure you get the most out of that day. So at the end of the day, you can do like, 10 out of 10. I accomplished what I wanted. So it's just kind of like a reminder to always work and always, nothing's going to happen overnight. It's just always putting in the work every day and slowly building, so if I can go home and write, okay, today was a 10 out of 10 day, tomorrow was, eventually over time I'll reach my goals and whatnot, right? So that's kind of where 10 came from.
You've been played 13 years in the PBA with 8 teams. How's it hard to be journeyman?
Yeah, how do you say, it was a little difficult at first, but I understood thing. Like we were just talking about, a lot of the trades early on were PLM number related, so talking text, we had, I think it was 9 PLMs, so then I had to go Air 21, and then Air 21 to Morocco, and then we had Jimmy and Chris, so then there was too many PLMs again, so then I had to go to NLEX, and then there was I forget, there was a lot of trades, so it's like you're always shifting teams, you're always finding new things and whatnot, but it's been good. At the same time, I've been able to learn a lot of great coaches, playing for different coaches, and I got to learn from a lot of great teammates as well, right? I've played with so many different guys that were great players on different teams, so I think I've been able to acquire a vast amount of knowledge from picking everyone's brains on the different teams I've played on, and all the different coaches that I've played for. So it's been good.
As a veteran player, what do you advise to your young teammates right now?
My young teammates. The first thing I kind of tell them is not even just the basketball. I talk about more like life, finance, stuff like that. Like you made it here. Of course, you got to work hard to stay here, but make sure your efforts don't go to waste. Don't don't waste. Don't settle. Like making the PBA is the dream come true for a lot of people like myself, and don't, just because you got here now, you got to work hard to stay here. Make sure you invest and take care of your spending, because it's a short career, and you want to make sure that you work worth it, and then like work hard. How are you going to stay in? And then from there, it's like they'll pick my brain about different things and whatnot, like basketball related or whatnot.
Your top 3 toughest opponent in the PBA all time?
Wow, toughest 3. Wow, it's hard. I always say RDO was one of the hardest. Renel Del Campo in the finals with Powerade. I had to guard him every game, and he just had so many counters. He could score from inside, outside. You'd think you'd cut him off, he'd spin the other way. And, that's why I admired him so much when I went to Talk and Text. I just tried to learn everything I could from him. He would even do these weird moves for fun. Like he would like spin one way but then jump the other way, and like he was such a talented player. So I definitely him. Like he's probably the hardest guy I've had to play, and every day I would have to play with Stanley Pringle. Prime Stanley Pringle was explosive. He could shoot. He had a vast array of hop step throughs, finishes. He could score from all over. So Stanley's up there. And I don't want to say a third because I don't want to leave anyone out. And make them feel. There's just so many great players in this league, and there's so many, dominant guys. I could say Junmar, but I never match up with Junmar, so stuff like that. He's too big for me. But yeah, stuff like that. There's just so many great players in the league.
For you, Idol, who the best import teammate you ever had?
The best import teammate I've ever had. To be honest, just the other last conference, Jonathan Simmons was one of the toughest guys I've had to guard every day in practice. You know what I'm saying? And he could score from outside, mid-range. He was a great passer, great defender. I mean, he was a defender in the NBA, right? He had to guard. Like, I think in playoffs he was guarding like Steph Curry and stuff like that. So, I mean, I think he's probably the most talented one. I mean, there's so many to choose from, but just the way he could break down stuff, his clutchness, his ability to set everyone up, and then, sometimes, imports don't want to really do everything, but he could do it. Like, at certain points, like, I'm guarding him too, and I'm getting the ball. So he was probably, Jonathan Simmons, I think.
Thank you for watching.